Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and this year's a little weird because I don't study at all yet, but I don't study in general. I won't be studying as much. I was thinking of like a way to make this channel useful moving forward. I feel like I always forget this, but majority of you guys that are watching me are pre-meds or people who are interested in going to med school, not quite there yet. So I thought of creating this video, which is gonna be like tips and tricks that I wish I knew when I was a pre-med. So let's start with the first thing. And the first thing that I really recommend is to plan. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you know that I am a planner. I'm a planner and I like to keep a planner. So I keep like a planner and usually I do it for the week, and I just like list all of the things that I want to accomplish, and I put like a little box next to it. So as the week progresses, when I finish it, I can just like check it off and like move forward. So if you do this in undergrad, you should get an idea of like what classes that you have to take just to like fulfill all the requirements, and like a general timeline of the things that you need to accomplish. So there's a lot of like volunteering, there's a lot of like research, or just in general, there's a lot to keep up with. So just keeping a planner will help you maintain your sanity, and it just like makes you feel better at the end of the day to know that you like actually accomplished a bunch of stuff. So I definitely recommend it. I know I talked about my planner in the past. There's a video somewhere on this channel about just like how I plan my planner, and you can do it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly if you even need to do that. Just to have like a 5-year plan even is good sometimes. So that's number one. The second thing on my list is get a tutor. So a lot of these pre-med classes will drive you insane. The physics and the organic chemistry are just like wild. Like the concepts are difficult to understand. It's really hard to find resources. Like textbooks aren't really good. You kind of need somebody to like talk it out to you. So getting a tutor will just like save your butt in a lot of these classes. I remember I used to just like go to Google and try to like type in the question, and then I get like a really vague similar explanation for something, and it wouldn't really help me completely understand the topic, and it was just like frustrating. Like if you're doing organic chemistry, I honestly don't even remember orgo because you don't use it anymore, but if you're doing organic chemistry and you're like stuck on a concept or a specific problem, you can get real-time help. And I find it like not only useful if you're struggling, but also if you just want that extra boost. Everyone has room for improvement. The third thing on the list, and something that I think is like the most important thing once you get to interviews, is to find your jam. Like did I just say jam? Okay. Find, oh my God, I'm such a nerd. That like thing that sets you apart from all the other applicants. Like if you think about it, you're going against thousands of people who want to go to med school. A lot of them want to go to med schools for the same reason that you do. A lot of them have the same stats as you. There's just a lot of people who want to be in medicine. So if you figure out that like one thing or two things that just really set you apart from all the other applicants, you need to like, and not because you're fine. Let me clarify. You're not like looking for something to say like I'm different than all these other people. You should just like really look for something that you're passionate about in this world that's outside of medicine, or like not necessarily in the medicine like hat. So for example, let me like give an example. I feel like this isn't making any sense. I did a lot of research, and I did it because I was passionate about it. I really thought I was going to go for a PhD, not an MD or DO. And so I was passionate about research in oncology, and that was something that I could really talk about in my interviews, and I can like really tell the interviewer that I am interested in helping people in this specific area of expertise. And again, I have a lot of friends in my school now who are coming from like history backgrounds, from art backgrounds, from dance, from just things that you wouldn't necessarily equate to medicine, like a lot of English majors who just are passionate about English, but they're also passionate about medicine. And it's so cool when you see like those two become married. Marriage, English, God. Having this one thing or this thing about you that you're gonna walk out of the interview and the interviewer is gonna be like, wow, that person was really passionate about XYZ, and I think they would be a great addition to our medical school. You wanna leave a lasting impression and figure out something that is gonna set you apart from the thousands of people who are applying to. And going off of that, I like wrote little like notes for myself because I don't wanna forget to say certain things. It is a lot about grades, right? Like your GPA and your MCAT score are very important, but grades are not going to get you from the interview to accepted. So those are going to get you the interview for sure, but you then have to figure out, like, it's not just about your grades. So a lot of people will say, I can't do this extracurricular because I need to spend the time studying. And that's fine if you're struggling, but like, you also need to find a balance, and like, you need to be able to study and do other things. You need to like have extracurriculars, whether they're sports or, like I said, music or dance or reading or whatever it is. You need to be able to do the two, because once you come into med school, it's really hard, and like, you're really gonna have to focus on medicine, and you need that other thing that you do to help balance you out and to help keep you grounded. And interviewers, I believe, like to say, I'm not an interviewer, right? Like, I'm not on the medical school admissions committee, but I'm just saying what I have seen, and from speaking to people who are on admissions committees, this is what I think that is important to them. So in addition to that, it's not just about pre-med. I'm gonna turn this into this topic, which it wasn't really gonna start as it, but gap years. So there's a lot of talk about gap years. People do them and people don't do them, and both people are happy. In my experience and in my opinion, gap years are a great idea. So like, taking a year off, or 2, or potentially even 3, depending on like what stage you're in, I think gives you a chance to like be a human and be like a functional unit of society for a minute before being sucked into this like world of medicine, which kind of just like eats you alive for the first 2 years, and you just like aren't really part of it. You're just like there but not really there. So I think being either working or traveling, or I don't know, just being passionate about whatever you're passionate for a short amount of time before entering medicine. So like, going from undergrad into this like real world where you're paying your taxes and you're getting a paycheck, and like, it's amazing to like get paid. You don't get really paid in med school, so it's kind of nice to have that before, and to just like catch up with friends, and like, I don't know, be a sibling, be a parent if you're a parent, be a daughter or son if you're, just do all that stuff before entering medicine, because when you come in, it's so important to have that insight. And like, for me personally, like, I know what life was like before medicine, and so when I'm sitting there studying for up to 16 hours a day, I can be like, okay, I know that this is what I want because I tried the other, or I know what the other life is like, and it wasn't enough for me. So when I was working and I was, you know, like a functional unit of society, like I was saying, I know that that wasn't enough for me, and I wasn't happy, and I didn't feel like I was like doing what I was supposed to be doing. So I know that now. And so when I'm sitting there like, should I drop out of med school? Because that thought is gonna come across your mind many times, I believe, in med school. I can like confidently say, no, I'm supposed to be here. I'm not dropping out of med school. Like, this is all worth it. I know that like I was supposed to be here. So I think that's very important to have. So taking some time off. This is, again, people have different opinions on this. I have classmates who came straight from undergrad who are also amazing. So there's not one right way to do things, but I'm just saying, if you need that year or those 2 years to do a post-bac or to work or to take care of family, it's totally fine and almost better in my opinion. Okay, the last thing that I have on my list is to absolutely 100% make sure that medicine is the only thing that you can see yourself doing. And what that means, so a lot of people said that to me, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, I'll never know. How am I ever gonna know that? Like, I'm never gonna be able to try everything. What that means is like, do a lot of shadowing, do a lot of volunteering, work in a hospital in some way and see what it's actually like, and just like ask the people around you what they think of it. And like, what I do even now, like, I know I'm not a pre-med, but I do this now in the hospital, is I'll ask the residents and I'll ask the attendings, if you could go back, would you tell yourself that it's worth it, and would you do it again? And I, like, whether it's a yes or a no, I want to know why, because you have to know, like, it seems like this world of medicine seems so like cool from the outside, and like you see these TV shows, and I'm sure some of you guys watch my videos and you're just like, I want to be in medicine, but it's not always good, and it's sometimes like very hard to realize that you're sacrificing the healthiest years of your life to do this. And so again, what helps with that is to just make sure that you know why you're doing it. And another thing is, like, when you walk into an interview, your interviewer is going to say, why do you want to be in medicine? And this is a question that I think almost everyone is asked, and I'm sure the interviewers have heard the answer to this in many different forms, but you need to have like a really good answer to that, and it has to be like genuine, and you have to understand why you want to go into medicine. It can't just be for the money. It can't just be because it looks cool. It can't be because your parents want you to be a doctor. It has to be like a real reason, and that's only going to come from you really understanding that. So like take a minute and like dig deep and like keep a journal or something and understand why you personally want to be in medicine. And if it's just for these like superficial reasons, then maybe like take some time and explore other like careers before you give all of yourself to medicine, because you really need to be sure about it, and you really need to know like the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it before you come into this field, because it is hard. And I'm only a third year and it's just gonna keep getting harder. I'm sure I haven't even seen half of it. Like I'm sure in internship and residency it's gonna be really bad, and I am aware of that, and I'm totally okay with it, because when I'm in the hospital I just feel like, I don't know, I just truly feel like God wanted me to be a doctor. It just feels right. It's hard to explain. Sometimes it feels very wrong when I'm like very tired and mad and seeing like really sad things. It doesn't always feel right? So I don't want people to be like, it's not always that good. Is that my list? Hold on. Yes, make sure you know what medicine is really like. Yes, that's the last thing on my list. So yeah, like I said, there's a ton of things that I wish I knew as a pre-med. If this was helpful and you guys want me to like continue this list, I can do it in another video. Pre-med's hard. Like some people say pre-med's harder than med school, which volume wise it isn't, but like concept wise physics is weird. So yeah, in some ways that is true. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and please let me know if there's any way I can make this channel more useful for you, whoever it is that you're watching. All right guys, see you later.